Imagine if when he did that, his auto attack was just like his tongue flying around, and it just made his tongue fly really fast with a lot of attack speed.
10 seconds remaining now. So before talking about the two team compositions, we're going to have to actually see how this pans out.
We got to wait.
For the opposing team to handle. But Sir Thomas Kench, Victor, Tristana Sejuani, and Atrox up there in the top lane, they're looking to scale. They want to go a little bit longer. Obviously, though, the Tristana, if she gets ahead and she comes online early, there's very little tools to hold her down. But the Event Horizon, it smacks her down out of the air.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's big.
A little bit perplexed about the pick, but we'll see how they can do with it.
Yeah, I'm excited. Another cool pick to come in here for game number 2. Let's see if Jin Air can extend it to 2. All right, here we go. Game number 2. And now that we get into the game, I do want to once again, highlight we have a Tristana in this game. Yes, she will be in the mid lane. Yes, it's a new thing, a new fad. People saying it's pretty good, other people, debating it and stuff like that. But Gen G, they are one of the teams right now that are 9 wins and 5 losses, and they just sustained a 1-game loss to Jin Air. Now, every game loss is going to matter when teams are tied at the top. That 1 game against Jin Air might mean the difference between them not making playoffs and them making playoffs. I mean, it is just crazy how stuff like that can happen, especially against a team like Jin Air, who's only won 2 actual games of League of Legends, not even sets. We're talking about just games, individual games.
Slow down there, Valdez, okay? They're about to win 3. All right, Jin Air 2-0 today. Yeah. All right, I've had enough of your disrespect.
You mean 4? The first win they got today was game number 3 that they won.
Oh, you're right. They're about to win 4.
And
I was testing you.
Yeah.
That's how that works out. So, Jin Air, they're gonna close this out with a clean 2-0 here today. I'm glad that everyone here could join us to witness this feat.
I remember spring when they won their first series. I was losing my mind. I don't know if that was with you or with Papa, but I went pretty insane when that did happen. As level 2 comes in, and Grace will be going for the big trade that Tristana's pretty good at. Level 2 Tristana, everybody knows her. Even back in the day of Tristana, Alistar in the bottom lane, you go level 2, you try to set up that all in. But you could just do it to get good trades in the mid lane.
Do you remember AP Tristana?
Yeah.
That was funny.
That was a lot of fun. I actually played her a bit back then.
AP Tristana was actually very cool. It was very Pog.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was Pog.
It was.
No Pog slide?
No, it was just very Pog.
Okay.
And Vygar being forced to farm, actually, with his W, so...
It's never fun.
Not getting very many of the stacks as Malrong coming up for a gank. They know about it. Just a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah. The
ward ended up lasting just until Malrong showed himself up there. As now Peanut, interestingly enough, he went for a full side red clear, and now he's pathing to his blue. And he's going to be the one with an advantage here if Malrong ends up trying to come into this blue side jungle. But it doesn't look like it. Now, in terms of scaling, the Vygar obviously scales infinitely. So maybe this is actually just the 5-head pick here against Jin Air if the game goes to 50 minutes. But the Tristana and the Victor, once they get to 3 and 4 items, it is a little bit problematic for some of the members of Gen G to handle them. However, the Event Horizon annihilates everyone on Jin Air Green Wings. Atrox can't realistically engage. Tristana cannot hop around completely freely. Malrong also going to have a little bit of difficulty engaging, and because Vygar has that spellbook, he's also going to have access to Cleanse later, as well as Ghost, and all these other neat little things in the later stages of the game. It's going to come down to the Battle of the Orals. It's going to be Tristana versus Vygar.
And already we have an Event Horizon as Grace, he's in a bit of trouble here. Already flashed, was not able to get out of that one as First Blood happens in the mid lane. We'll have to take another look at exactly how the fight started, but this is kind of what we were worried about as Tristana gets baited into her own death.
Now, Grace does have a little bit of a CS advantage, but you don't want to be dying to the Vigar. I believe he gets 5 AP on every takedown. That is his passive.
Yeah.
Just going to confirm that really quickly. You know, caster coach, by the way, so going to make sure that's what's happening. But looking at the replay, the event horizon, it makes it so that he can't just walk out, has to flash out, and because he already committed with the jump, there was nothing for him to do at that point.
She's very predictable, right? It's a Veigar that has no mana in the mid lane, right? You're Tristana with Ignite. You're level 5 or whatever. You're going to be looking to take trades like that. So Gen G, they call over Peanut. They say, this guy's going to engage on me. It's the most predictable thing in the world. It happens. Event Horizon. The guy dies as long as Peanut lands his abilities. Even if he didn't, he had his flash to follow up and maybe even pick up the kill. So very straightforward for Gen G, and a good read by them to make sure they could pick up that first blood.
I did check, by the way. It is 5 for every takedown.
Wow, there you go.
It's pretty good. That's a lot of value.
We're going for a pretty early dive here if they actually do commit to it. Looks like the answer is no.
What's going on? I guess they're worried about the slicing Maelstrom, and Malrong does not have level 6. Grace also does not have level 6. And so now Grace is going to come back into mid lane, and interestingly enough, doesn't lose any CS. Tristana's got some wave clear. That's okay.
Just a bit, yeah.
Yeah. Not too much, but it's enough. As Vampiric Scepter was also the first item of choice, and take a look at how comfortable Ruler is down here in bottom. He ends up going Cull alongside his Warhammer. And the first Infernal Dragon, that is super, super important for both of these teams. I would say that it's probably a little bit more so important for Gen G, just because of the Xayah, the Kennen, and the Veigar. I think would utilize it a little bit better, because Victor is most likely going to go utility AP carry.
Here we go again. Grace knocked out of the air, just gets Ard in the face by that Veigar. How about a 0-2 start for your cool pick in the mid lane? Not going to feel too good, especially with Peanut just camping her down and making it look easy.
Now Nova just trying to give him the target on stacks right here. Peanut, meanwhile, going to steal away the blue buff. As Jin not off to the greatest of starts. It looks like they might turn their attention here to the Infernal Dragon. But no. Doesn't seem like that's going to be the case.
Yeah, you notice the ping from the red side, too, where it's like, yeah, they could be doing this. Take a look at the vision in the river. There's 3 control wards from the blue team. Will be kind of difficult if you are the red team to have any real idea of if they are going for that. But once people get back to their lanes, they know it hasn't been started.
Yeah, and everything else is, for the most part, going quite well for Gen G this time around. Veigar and Grace don't have the best CS right now, but Roach, he's going to have to dodge that.
Oh, it's going to hit him, but with the TP coming in, they decide against it, as it was just a level 5 life. Kind of interesting that they don't go in on that one, especially with double flash available for them, but they just want to play it safe and sound, so no harm, no foul.
Take a look at how this all happens. Look at that event horizon. That clip.
Get over here.
Oh man, I feel so bad for that little dragon.
Yeah.
You know, now I'm not saying for sure, but do you know Gon from Tekken?
Gon?
Gon.
There's a guy named Gon?
Yeah, the dinosaur, the little dinosaur. The little tiny dinosaur named Gon.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually played Tekken recently. I don't know.
Maybe he's one of the secret characters along with, is it Roger, the kangaroo?
I know Roger, yeah.
Okay, maybe Gon's not one of the secret characters. I don't know. Gon's
all right, well, we're all inning here as the big zoom in. It's not much of an all in, guys. So, Fly just kind of ignores him here. Anyway, about Gon.
Yeah, about Gon. That's actually the dragon that Tristan's riding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just wanted to inform you of that fun fact.
Okay. That's good to know, just so we have our names correct and everything like that. Peanut.
What?
Hello? Yeah, it was just a ward that was about to expire, and he just assumed, okay, my red buff's going to kill it. And,
No, it wasn't. It was 89 HP.
Again, I used the word assume.
Okay.
As
Break it down for me, Valdez.
that would not have died. I think it would have gotten close. He probably wanted to go and put a ward first and then back away.
Oh, was that
To
imperative?
be safe.
Okay.
You know, because if you kill it with the 1 extra auto and then you go to ward, there's a greater chance that the jungler's there.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So, it's math.
Okay.
I know you
Thank
wouldn't
you.
understand these things.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't. I struggle every day with that.
Yeah, well, we all do, especially on cast. As now Jin Air say, the hell with it. We want Shelly. And they have done this before.
And, it is actually a very, very early Rift Herald as well. They're not hitting the eye as soon as they could have. And with 3 minutes... with 3 minutes remaining on the turret plates.
Back to our programmed, show.
With 3 minutes remaining on the turret plates, they should actually be able to convert this into a lot of gold.
Yeah, it's actually a nice little play. They don't lose that much, especially with Victor in the bottom lane, because that's one of the things you can do with him. Different from some of their AD carries, you can just clear an entire wave, especially once you get an upgrade on that item of yours, as that is a ton of gold in the pockets right now of Linderong.
Yeah.
Even Malrong here. They're both going to stick around and make sure that goes down. First blood turret goes to Jin Air alongside of 5 plates. Not bad.
11.5 minutes is the current game time. Now remember, Genji, they have the Infernal Dragon, so even though Jin Air were able to get all of the turret plates up in the top lane, as well as Linderong getting the first turret participation, they are still behind of Genji, which is a pretty weird thing. Normally we don't get to see that.
Yeah.
And Grace, he's continuing to try to scale up, but not having the easiest of time against this Veigar after he fell behind in the early stages of the lane. He's also down an entire base level, which is not something that's all that common in mid lane.
Yeah, that happens in solo queue, but that's when you know you're getting wrecked. You're like, you just feel really bad about yourself.
Yep.
You got ganked a couple times. It's like, well, I guess I'm just playing from behind. Hopefully my teammates don't flame me, but who are we kidding? Korean solo queue specifically will not miss any chance to give you the flame. As, yeah, I mean, he's just going to be farming under turret, trying not to get hit by spells. Basically, that's the name of the game for him.
Right now, Malrong, he's probably just going to end up clearing out his jungle. He doesn't have anything to do. Roach is still just trying to get some turret plates up there in the top lane. Unsure if he's actually going to be able to get any of them, as there's only a minute remaining on that. Every other lane is still just a giant farm fest. I really like this usage of the event horizon. Does make it a little bit more uncomfortable for the opponent to farm. And even if it doesn't end up trapping them or allowing you to hit your W on Veigar, it's still a little bit of mental damage. It's about sending
Chipping
a message.
away at his mental HP. I like that.
You see this?
Oh, he's going to hit it this time, though, as that might be enough damage. CR, and one more auto would have done it, but not quite enough there for Fly.
If he had just stacked his passive a little bit better. That's what we're going to have to blame here.
Yeah, just one more Q. I mean, come on, buddy.
Yeah.
Get it right. Maybe next time. And, yeah, Merc Dreads is going to be that first pickup on his way back, as Grace will be happy that by the grace of one missed stack on the Veigar, he does survive.
Now he's coming back into mid lane. Interestingly, he has Blade of the Ruin King. It's going to be his first item here on Tristana. And Valdez, I'm looking down at the team composition of Genji. I'm having a little bit of difficulty locating tanks.
We have a bit of a fight here. We'll see if we can locate this one, as Roach in a bit of trouble. What was that? It went so wide, but it just did not matter. As Roach is going to die anyway, Linderong saying, it's all right, Malrong, I got this.
He manages to pick up and salvage that almost botched attempt at a top dive, or a top gank.
What is with the Sejuanis today?
Yeah, the Sejuanis are a little bit, you know.
Sejuani had a rough night, I understand.
Yeah, she probably did.
Yeah.
You know, you need to leave her alone. But
all right, well, now we're just bullying this Victor, but a nice devour. It's not going to be enough, though.
Ooh, almost was able to get a life. Another turret shot plus a little bit more damage. A little bit surprised that Root didn't flash away from that. And now Genji, they're going to be able to convert this, I'm assuming, into the Clown Drake. As Linderong almost actually raised the top tier 2 turret. And Roach has to be really careful. Doesn't know about Sejuani.
Well, he's not going to know about Sejuani. Sejuani decides not today. She's a little bit tired from yesterday. And we'll just hang out in the top side jungle. You can see that Jin Air, they have one big lead, and they're going to play entirely towards that lead. They say, let's just camp the top lane. Let's camp Roach. See what kind of lead we can get from this guy. And they are able to get a nice amount there. Second turret will go down.
Second turret goes down, and now they're turning their attention to the Wolves. They're going to steal away these from Peanut, as the Cloud Drake did go down. So that's a Cloud and an Infernal. We take another look at this replay here. As Slicing Maelstrom came out, ended up stunning Linderong, but he hit everything, and then Malrong, I don't know where that ultimate was going, but nonetheless,
he threw it into the forest on the side of the map. Oh boy, he saw a bear or something. As yeah, it was just no flash out of Victor. He was very surprised by that one, Root. So just took the hit, went down.
Now at this point, Root, he's in mid lane. He's planted here. The Tristan is probably going to go elsewhere to start farming up, as the Victor is going to have such good wave clear in mid. And this is the part of the game where lane freezes could start to come in, but probably not going to see that. It's okay, nonetheless. 3.5 minutes until the next Infernal. That's going to be a very heavy prioritized objective for both of these teams. Root almost level 11. And so the base levels are actually what's so problematic right now for the members of Jin Air. Grace and Root both behind an entire base level. And once the team fights start breaking out, this Veigar is just going to be so scary and problematic for them to handle. He has the Oblivion Orb. Really surprised he didn't go with the Sork penetration boots. And also even a little surprised that he elected to go into Oblivion Orb rather than just going Void Staff, because you already see so much magic resist, and everyone there needs Merc Treads because the Slicing Maelstrom, the stun from Kennen, the CC that Silas is able to use, as well as just the Veigar Event Horizon. And so you know that they're going to get this MR, but they're probably going to get more magic resist too. And so not just going Void Staff so that you can...
It's already happening.
Exactly.
That extra MR, he can see it.
Really surprising. Now, it'd be quite a horror show if I saw Blasting Wand pop up in his inventory.
I mean, you already
might
know
not make it to game
happen.
3, Valdez. I'll tell you that much. Morella Nomicon might...
We're going to have to fly Papa Smithy back if this happens.
I'm already messaging him.
Yeah.
Not going to make it to
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Get on the next flight to Seoul. We need you here. He has an opportunity. We'll have to see, as Malrong is getting pretty excited here. Not able to get much after that, but really just trying to hang around Linderong. Says, well, we have a really strong Aatrox. He's pretty far ahead as a kill, about 30 CS up on the Kennen. We want to make sure this Kennen is as useless as possible, and that we play to our strong lane.
And now they're going to trade top tier 1 turret for bot tier 1 turret. The gold score is not that big, and so it still easily can come down to one fight. I'm not sure what Veigar's AP is. I would actually really like to see Veigar's AP. That would be very cool.
Yeah.
If we could somehow get Vygar to be selected at the bottom left here.
Yeah, pay attention to the bottom left. Maybe it'll happen here.
We're waiting.
Eventually. Veigar just went back, so maybe if he buys that blasting wand you were waiting for.
No.
Oh, he just built the whole thing! He just built the whole thing! No blasting wand required. We didn't even need to see it in the inventory, LS.
Oh no.
LSAK last straw right now.
Oh man.
So, you know, Aatrox, the guy that he's probably not going to interact with too much, has a bit of health gain. So, yeah. And that's it.
That's pretty much it.
The only lifesteal.
But the thing is that it's Vygar. You just want to be blowing up one of the members on the side of Jin Air that is your primary target.
You want
the healing
AP
reduction
and penetration, not healing reduction.
Or even cooldown reduction
at
that
true.
point.
Yeah.
So that you can cast more Event Horizons in the fight. So.
All right, trying to check here. We're going to ult down onto him. Nice devour, though, as the knockup's good, but can't quite kill anybody on the side of Jin Air just yet. As the kiting is actually quite good from the side of Jin Air. You can see what they do. They just devour, throw out a couple of lasers, and just go from there. But due to that fight that did go in Genji's favor, they're going to be able to come over here and pick up that second Infernal. So not really concerned are they. They'll just pick up another great Drake.
They pick up that dragon. Couldn't see what it was giving some of the other champions. There was a Rakan being highlighted at that point in time, but it's looking like it's going to be a pretty easy Genji victory here once the decisive team fight will end up taking place, unless some act of God occurs where Grace just goes legendary inside of a team fight on the Tristana and gets lots of kills. But that's going to be a really hard task for him to do against this team composition. A lot of people, they're probably looking at this and being like, well, isn't Aatrox really big? No, not really, because he can't really reliably engage onto any of the carries on Genji. Vygar will single-handedly shut him down.
Event Horizon.
Yeah, the Event Horizon will just put a stop to everything else. The Sylas and the Cannon is also going to be difficult for him to work through.
Yeah, even if he dives in alone, I mean, they have so much burst with the Veigar and everything else in their comp. Maybe even Veigar could just 100-0 him at some point. So definitely stuff to be careful about. Can't just run in there alone. Maybe they can bait out a Event Horizon and perhaps maybe 3 or 4 items down the line. Can this Tristana do something as well?
She's almost, just give her some time. She's almost at 2 items. She's clawing her way there. Okay. 23 minutes in.
We'll get there eventually. Set the timer to, you know, good 20 minutes from now. Maybe then they'll have a good chance of coming back in this one.
All right, well, Victor is going to continue to keep scaling up. As he's going to cast a Death Ray. And this is really going to be a stalled out game, it's looking like. Genji perhaps want to wait a little bit longer for their third core items. Second core item for the Kennen, perhaps.
Yeah.
And the Vygar is really the primary piece to the team comp. So if Fly's not ready to really fight, none of the other members can really do too much. Event Horizon comes out, just makes it so that they can't move in. And sure, they have the Merc Treads, but it doesn't mean that they're able to just walk into it and ignore it as if it's not an ability cast, especially because he does so much damage as well. Aurong might look for an engage here.
He is going to be spotted by the little scanner there from Peanut. So no engage will happen just yet, as Aatrox has grouped up here in the mid lane. It's kind of very easy to see that Jin Air are looking for a 5v5 fight, perhaps while Roach is not here yet. The teleport flanks from the AD cannon, not going to be as effective as Ruler. Just going to ult out of that one. It's in the wrong direction, but he got to safety. That's the important thing.
We are in a little bit of a lull state here, although...
Oh boy. Root in a lot of trouble here. And he is going to be devoured up, but it doesn't get the knock-up as life is going to go down somehow on the back of that. Just enough damage coming out from, I believe, the Stolen Chaos Storm. That just gets plopped down onto him. So another kill will go the way of Gen G here.
Nova ended up dropping right there. A little bit surprising, though. Root refusing to use Flash in a lot of these instances. And you can just see how obnoxious the Veigar really is at moving people off these turrets. Honestly, very surprised not to see more of this champion in the meta right now. Ruler is going to clear out this mid wave. Open Dragon coming up in 50 seconds. As we take a look at how this all transpires again, now Root doesn't have an obligation to farm the wave where he is. He ends up casting a Q, not even on Peanut actually, on the cannon. And then Nova getting locked up, just had no way to live right there. Event Horizon came out. Alrong forced to retreat, so. Alright.
Little gank brush here, we'll see what they can find. They have done a good job of clearing out the vision. There's a lot of deep wards up towards that top tier 2 turret, but other than that, the blue vision has been put only into the river for now.
Life now just going to clear out vision with the rest of his team. As the Open Dragon's alive, maybe Peanut's just going to go over and try to solo it. Or perhaps they're going to delegate that job to Roach, who's on the 80 cannon right now. Atrox almost has Guardian Angel.
He's working towards it right now. We mentioned how he's really the one shining light on their team. Every other lane kind of got dumpstered. Even the jungle, the Sylas is doing much better. As Linderong is going to be the one to try to take this Ocean Drake, but he's all alone. And we got Ruler here as well, 2-on-1. As Linderong will be forced to go over the wall, but just gets chased down by Roach with the follow flash. And that's going to be the Ocean Drake as well, going the way of Gen G.
The Ocean Drake goes over their way. Linderong also having to expend his flash. He goes down for basically no reason. As Gen G, they find themselves now with a 6,000 gold advantage, backed up with double Infernal Dragon. So, pretty unlikely that Jin Air's going to be able to come back into this game. So it looks like we're going to go for a game 3. It's just a matter of when will Gen G finally just decide to start the Baron.
Not a big fan of the Baron. As you can see, they like pushing into Victor and Tristana.
Okay.
That's their favorite pastime, as we've been learning here. And so that means that we're just going to sit here and they're going to look for picks before they do go for that Baron.
All right, well, Peanut just, you know, he just used the Sejuani ult.
Oh boy. Well, that's a big recon engage here as Malrong trying to get away from this one. One more auto is going to do it, as the heal will not help him out. Even Grace had to flash the wall as they catch 2. And maybe now they'll go to that Baron.
Yeah, they're definitely going to go to the Baron. And then, after the Baron, it should be a pretty easy push into Jin Air's base. There's realistically no way they can hold off. They're way, way, way too far behind right now. Now, outside of some miracle steal here on Nova.
Oh, he caught the Tristana. Grace nearly going to die there. Nova. Can he do it? He's going to get the smite. And, well, he went in a little bit.
You know what? It's the thought that counts.
Yeah. Okay. Nice try, Nova. We'll give him a pat here as Linderong is going to get dunked here, but the Veigar, down he goes. Double kill will go to Fly. And this game is as good as over, guys. Not much else to see here. As Gen G, they're pretty angry after that game number 1. Rhodes got bullied a little bit, but Grace got bullied even harder in the mid lane. And should be Gen G pushing on. We'll see what Root can do in terms of wave clear. You still do have this Tristana and Victor wave clear, but they're so far behind right now. 11,000 gold in favor of Gen G.
Yeah. And all that it's going to take now is one final Doom push for this game to actually end. Void Staff picked up by Vigar. Looks like he was going Death Cap next. And you ask yourself, Jin Air, why are you guys randomly at the mid-tier 1 turret farming the wave that's coming into you? Doesn't make all that much sense. You just swap to triple or quadra blue trinket in spots like this and try to play around if they have started the Baron or not. And then right here, Grace and Linderong. Grace doesn't seem like he plays against Vigar all that often. He's getting hit by a lot of these event horizons. The damage that Fly just dishes out is so scary. R button,
sitting there, just
pretty nice. Fly has probably played Karthus a couple times in his life the way he presses that key.
Yeah.
As this is just going to be it. They're going to march forward. They're going to kill the Nexus turret. Nexus is going to go down. We're going to go to game number 3. I'm going to have some Frosted Flakes in between the break.
That's very specific.
Yeah, I'm also going to have some lime-flavored water.
Oh.
Yeah, it makes me hate myself.
Sparkling water.
Yeah.
Yeah. That water does kind of make you hate yourself. I don't know what it is about it. But we're trying immediate cleanse out of Fly. That was pretty to look at. But Event Horizon comes down. He's going to be charged into his death. He's not living much of a semi-charmed life here as Gen Z put down the hammer and say this is our rift in game number 2. Not a very close game from minute 1 to minute 31. But that does mean we are going to be going into a third and final game for this matchup, guys. GG. Gen Z will pick up the win.
Well, that was something. The Vigar pick ended up paying off. The Tristana not working so well for them.
Papa Smithies. We got to contact Papa Smithy.
All right.
We'll see how much that's going for. I think it's at least over 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least. I mean, I could
Yeah.
get him on the snack train here.
Yeah.
It's a little bit too low.
LS will be his manager
Yeah,
of the snack.
add a couple zeros to the end of that.
Well, that's, it kind of feels like nothing really happened for Jin Air in that game.
I mean, we sat around for 31 minutes, and we watched some League of Legends.
Was that League of Legends?
You know, it was something.
Good question. Good question there. We'll have to wait and see.
I'm looking forward to the Frosted Flakes.
You're going to get one of those Frosted Flake milk bars, and we'll be ready to go for game number 3 after this short commercial break.